Welcome to Music Musings. As always, I'm Derek, and with me, as always, is my co-host Pat. Pat, how are we today?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing today?
We're always fantastic. It's another beautiful Saturday day. For all of you out there listening, it's Saturday for us. We're getting to today's episode, and we have a lot to talk about. Really a lot to talk about today. Today, we're going to be breaking down pop music, and pop has really changed in the last few years. And thinking about that, how global pop has come, but also with all this new technology, TikTok, the social media outlets out there, thinking about how pop has really become do-it-yourself. You don't really need a label anymore. A lot of people can do this with their phones, which is, exciting, but also we're going to talk a lot about the pros and cons of that in today's episode.
Absolutely.
So let's jump into, our first segment today, talking really about pop without borders, and thinking about how pop has become this huge global, influence around the world. And thinking about with that, has English language has always been, at least for me growing up thinking about pop songs, has always been the primary language when we're talking about pop. But thinking about how pop has become this huge global influence, I see kids singing pop songs that it's not in English, and they're just kind of humming along the melody because they don't really know the words. So, thinking about that, is English really the language of pop music? I did some research here and just kind of like looking at the top 100 global songs, right? So we see that the top 9 songs, even top 10, but top 10 are still primarily English songs. You have artists such as Alex Warren on here, Sabrina Carpenter, Benson Boone, Tate McGraw. But then we start getting into like from 11 to 20, we see a lot of artists, and the language there is either mixed. So we have a lot of K-pop, Korean and English, a lot of Spanish, Japanese. So, my question, I guess, to you, and kind of we can talk this out, is do you think, English is the primary language now of pop, or is that starting to change?
I honestly believe it's starting to change. When we think about pop, we think about, if you want to go 80s, you want to think Michael Jackson. If you want to think about, 90s, you're talking about boy bands, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, and then 2000s, you got Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake, and all these people. And that's always been the dominant, perspective of pop. And I love that today's generation of artists are now from anywhere. And now that whether they speak Spanish, whether they speak Korean, whether they speak Japanese, French, it doesn't matter. If you have confidence in your artistry and you have a sound that's unique to you, people will follow you and follow your career and support you regardless. And I love that J Balvin, Bad Bunny, those are 2 personal artists I listen to a lot. But the fact that K-pop, J-pop, French, it doesn't matter. I love that they're breaking down the borders. I love the fact that I can be here in America and I can hear someone from France, from Korea, from Japan, from Colombia, from Venezuela, and just you hear so many artists that have such talent or passion or drive, take your pick. And the fans, no matter where they are, now they're latching on to these artists from different countries. So I think the concept that English is the pop standard is no longer a thing now. And I cannot tell you how I'm happy to hear that, because now it possibly fuels the next artist that could be somewhere. Maybe he's in Russian, maybe she's in in Brazil. And guess what? They have a chance. So I love that for this generation, and I love that for where the direction pop, and if not music, is going.
And I think, to be really clear on that, when I said pop music, I meant just here in America, right? Because I'm pretty sure you go anywhere else, like you go to Korea.
Yeah.
Obviously, K-pop is going to be the top popular music.
Yeah.
But I think here in America now, it isn't always going to be in English. right? You have, just as you said, like Bad Bunny, Spanish. You have a lot of K-pop coming out, Korean language, right? So, and that kind of goes into the question of how are fans who primarily speak English embracing these songs that are in a different language? And just for a point of reference, my 9-to-5 job, I'm a teacher. I teach a bunch of second graders. And a lot of what I'm seeing with them now is they are really into the K-pop. That movie Huntrix that just came out. Now, that movie, there's a lot of K-pop songs. I love that movie, by the way. Like, I watch it with my wife multiple times every weekend. It's a great movie. It's got great songs.
That was a sleeper hit for me. When you told me about it, I was just like...
Yeah, that's no joke. I sent you the songs. I was like, these are bops.
No, I heard the songs first, and then I saw the movie, and it was, oh my gosh. I was like, this is really good. Why is this not as popular as I thought it would be?
Right.
Yeah. Like, I don't know.
It's getting there.
I hope it does.
But my second graders, now that movie, a lot of the songs are in English, but there is Korean mixed in. And I think what's great is, I have second graders who are just singing along these songs and they know the words. Now, they don't know the Korean words, but they can latch onto the meaning behind these songs because of the mixed language of English and Korean. So it's very cool to watch, a bunch of 7-8-year-olds jamming out to K-pop. It's really cool.
Yeah.
But I think with this question is, it doesn't really matter if you know the words or not. Because again, music, I think, is a universal language.
Right.
It's partly the melody the music itself, you can always attach to the emotion. You don't necessarily need to know the words.
Right.
But what is interesting, and maybe you could speak also a little bit about this too, is like the mixed language.
Right.
And I'm seeing a lot more, especially like Bad Bunny. I've heard a lot of his songs. He mixes English, Spanish.
Yeah.
And I think it's an interesting way to captivate the audience or engage them, but also still being true to yourself.
Right. And let's use Bad Bunny as an example. Yeah, when he obviously predominantly sings in Spanish, but the fact that he'll mix in English in the lyrics and believe it or not, it doesn't misses a step in the song structure, melody, whatever you want to call it. Like it flows. I was like, that really flowed really well. He could have just kept it in Spanish, but that was really good.
Right.
Like I was just like, oh, I was thrown off by that. But I think it's also very useful, whether it's Spanish, Korean, Japanese, the fact that they will blend a little bit of English into the tracks is a great idea. And at the same time, when they do that, as you said before, there's people who are singing along. We don't really know all the words or what they mean. But by combining that, you're giving people like, well, you know what? I kind of want to learn a little bit Korean. I want to learn a little bit of Japanese. I want to learn a little bit of Spanish, French, whatever. And now you have that the barriers between cultures are now slowly like becoming smaller and smaller. And now people are like, well, I want to know what it's like to be around, Spanish or Korean or Japanese culture. So I love that because now everyone is looking at one another and we're interested. These artists, I don't think that was their goal. Maybe it was, but whatever it is, it's making people become more connected to people outside of their communities and their cultures.
And I think that kind of goes into my next question here because we're starting to see now, not right now, this has been happening probably for a few years, but more global collabs, right? Artists from different countries working together.
Yeah.
And, what do you think? Do you think these global collabs push culture forward or is it flattening it?
I think, in my opinion, it pushes the culture forward. When you have collaboration of two artists and now you have two separate fan groups coming together for the same song. So fans of fan A are listening to artist B and they're like, well, I kind of like artist B too. Now I'm starting to really interested. Now they're part of that fan group as well.
Right.
So the combination of collaboration and working together on a song or an album, it brings fans together. So I personally love that idea because now, one, it shows off the chemistry between the two artists. Then at the same time, fans are now like, well, I didn't know this person now. I didn't know him before, but now I'm interested. I want to hear more of their music. So now you're interested to keep going further in the discography. So it's like a swapping of perspectives for a moment. And I think fans benefit the most. And I think culture of music or just pop in general, for genre-wise, it expands. So now you're having a much more bigger, groups of fans coming together and supporting all the artists that are either, supporting, like pushing the narrative or expanding the boundaries. And I think that's a great idea that they're doing that.
And, we live in the world has become smaller, right? Because of the internet and like how fast we can make connections now just because of the internet. And really all it does take, and I think you said this, was just two artists with two different audiences sparking a little bit of interest in each other.
Right.
So you could be an audience from America who now one of their favorite artists has been working with somebody from like Korea. And all it takes is that little spark, and people from America are now looking into this artist. And now you're sparking interest literally between two countries. And I think that we're starting to see that more happen, especially from K-pop. Like I keep saying that, but like that's really gaining a lot of momentum. You have movies out now, and you have a lot of these artists from Korea who are working with artists from America. You have these, the K-pop girl bands, boy bands coming around.
Yeah.
So, and that's all it takes. And then once these two audiences, it sparks this change, it really does take off.
Right.
So I agree with you. I think that these global collabs are going to push culture forward rather than flatten it.
Right.
So, and I want to take a little detour here because I want to go into the past.
Time travel. Let's go.
Because, we're talking about how pop music currently is changing, I think, with, these global collaborations. But let's talk a little bit about the past and even, our past when we were growing up with pop music and that sound. I'm thinking about the Y2K, the 2000 era of you got the Backstreet Boys, you got NSYNC, and that sound. And I'm thinking more around, and maybe you can speak a little bit about those synth sounds. I'm thinking of Max Martin, producer who just produced every boy band in the world. Like every song he literally just made and was an instant hit. Yeah. That sound, I think, is coming back. Yeah. And specifically, I'm thinking of artists like Chappell Roan, Olivia Rodrigo, Sabrina Carpenter, just to name a few, who have that early 2000s
feel to him,
pop sound. Yeah. And I'm thinking about like, why do young listeners today? Because again, like even students in my classroom will listen to these artists, and they really like that sound. And I'm trying to pinpoint what it is about that music or that sound that really brings it back.
I think, if I'm being very honest, okay, you see how like certain people love like the 80s and the 70s, like we like that sound, right? Personally, I love the 70s. My fiance loves the 80s. Okay. We always have this little debate over which decade is. I'm sorry, I'm getting off topic, but wait, trust me, it's that's top for another day. But I will always
70s or the 80s.
I always defend the 70s. I'm sorry, but anyway, but the 80s have that. They brought forth the synth sound, right? And when I think about people always think back to the 80s, why certain tracks are so stuck in our head, the melodies or the case and beat, like with like certain tracks. I think that nostalgia factor, when we look back, we look at that like, wow, that seems like the golden age of music to them. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I think the new generation is now looking at what we experienced in the 2000s. I don't want to jump the gun when I say this. They're looking at that as the 80s, like how we look at the 80s.
Oh yeah.
So they're looking at it as like, wow.
No, we're old. Like I know we're old. Like we're old. Like I know.
Sorry, people.
If anyone was like middle school during you're old now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's over.
Sorry, that threw me for a loop. That was a curveball. But yeah. So the new generation of listeners are looking at like the 2000s, like, whoa, this is like, it seems futuristic. It seems like edgy. It seems authentic. So to them, they're like, oh my God, like this is, to them, they're like discovering it. This is their first time hearing these things. So the boy bands of NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, the Britney Spears, the Christina Aguilera, the Justin Timberlakes, everyone that was like the top artists of the 2000s, they're looking at them like, well, that sound is what I want. And the fact that artists today, where Chappell Roan, who I absolutely adore, her music is just phenomenal. And
Pink Pony Club.
well, yeah, anyway, sorry, we're getting distracted because like that song, it always hits the target. Always hits the target. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. But I think that nostalgic factor is like they're bringing that to a modern era. I can't believe I'm saying that. Now I feel my age, but the fact that that is what people are interested in now. Like they're looking like that as like, bring that sound back.
Right.
Bring that like edgy, I want to say edgy, but more like there's so much complexity within that. And I think they're looking at that as like, whoa, this is fantastic. Mm-hmm. And I love that they're looking at the 2000s as their 80s, even though it makes me feel ancient.
But with that, though, I think, and you're absolutely right. I think because they've never experienced that sound.
No.
Right.
No.
So it's like, now you're experiencing what we experienced when we were about your age.
Right.
And it's fun to watch. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, this song sounds exactly like whatever, this NSYNC song that I listened to when I was 12. Because I did listen to the Backstreet Boys. I'm not afraid to admit that.
I mean, me too.
But what I think also with that, and I think it's more true today, it's also the lyrics and the emotion that comes behind some of those songs. Because, again, I'm thinking about like the 2000s, 90s even, the music we listened to. There was a lot of like emotional honesty that was coming out of those songs, speaking about heartbreak, speaking about losing somebody, like all those things. And I think Sabrina Carpenter, Chappell Roan even does it. Like their emotion that they put into the lyrics is also something that I think this generation, in terms of pop at least, they're hearing kind of for the first time.
Right.
And again, I'm speaking about very young kids who are like maybe middle school, high school, early high school. Like this is their first time kind of listening to that sound and that emotional honesty that we grew up with when we listened to like similar artists.
Right.
And now they're hearing it now. So my next question is, do you think, does pop music need to have this emotional honesty, maybe sometimes pain even, like heartbreak in there to feel authentic? Or can it just be about really catchy tunes, catchy bops?
Catchy bops.
Or can it be both? I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? I think drop my coffee.
It's all right. It's all about the recovery.
Right.
I think authentic like value is the currency today for artists, if I'm being honest. I think that's what this generation is looking at with artists like Chappell Roan, Billie Eilish, Sabrina Carpenter, is that authentic. Are you authentic? Are you really yourself? Are you willing to be like open and vulnerable? I think that always was a staple in music in general. For talk about jazz, blues, R&B, doesn't matter. Like it's always about that raw emotional connection to the artist. But I think fans today appreciate it even further. So I listened to like so many different. I wanted to take a moment. I actually wrote this down. I wanted to talk about like an example. So Billie Eilish, right? Now, this, like, I've always liked her music. I've always appreciated her. But there was one song called "Your Power" that really hit a target because I heard it and I was like, I felt the emotion. I felt connected to the lyrics. I was like, granted, I've never been in that experience or that situation, but I understood it, and I had such admiration for her bravery for that, like, and vulnerability. So I think
I've never heard that song.
I don't want to. It's a great listen. It's very, very a personal song from her, but it was really good. And the fact that she was, that was a song she released, and I was like, that's very, very deep and personal. But it definitely solidified my respect for her.
Right.
I was just like, what? Like, that was beautiful. Like, thinking about it, I have goosebumps now thinking about the lyrics.
Okay.
It's really that good. So I think that artists today showing vulnerability, it's always been a staple in music, but they're taking it further, where they're willing to get even more personal, not just writing about an idea or a situation that everyone can relate to. Like, this is something that genuinely happens in their lives, and they write a song about it, and it's much more like it hits a target of like, I genuinely believe that wasn't like a marketing team. That was like a personal song you needed to release. And fans love that. I love that. I think we all generally love that.
I think I would agree with you there. There's always a take of, you can tell, at least I can, I'm sure we all can, but when an artist really sings a song from the heart versus they're just writing a song to make money. Mm-hmm. Or even, this artist has like a ghostwriter behind it. You can usually tell, and it really does come out, especially if they're a vocalist. You can tell when somebody's really being authentic and that raw emotion just comes out. It sounds a billion times better because it means something to that person.
Right.
And I think that's important. And I would argue that even for pop music, I think it does matter the emotional influence behind the song. Because I've heard a lot of people just say, oh no, pop songs are just catchy bops and like they don't need to mean anything, which I don't necessarily, I'm like agreeing and disagreeing with myself. I don't disagree with that point.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I've also listened to pop songs that mean nothing and I've bopped around to it because it's a good song.
Yeah.
But I think it's much more impactful when you have an artist who writes a song that has emotional value behind it.
Right.
And that song is more like just what you said with Billie Eilish, that song really connected with you.
Yeah.
Even though the topic she was talking about has nothing to do with what you've experienced, but it's just you felt that emotional connection because she was being so raw and personal.
Right.
And I think that is just what takes a normal pop song to the next level.
Yeah.
And I think that goes with not just pop, like any genre. You can say that. It is that emotional influence that's behind the song.
Right. Yeah, 100%.
So that kind of segues nicely into this next segment here. We're living in the age of AI. We're living in the age of technology overlords taking over the world.
Yeah.
So with that, thinking about, I call this the TikTok effect of how has social media really influenced a lot of the pop music that's out there. So I pulled up this little chart here using AI to help me, which is great. But I just took, what are the global top 20 pop songs right now? And how did TikTok affect these artists, right? So, for example, we have this song, Ordinary, by Alex Warren, which I've never heard of him, by the way, and I listened to the song. It's really good. It's number one right now.
Okay. I feel bad I haven't heard this yet, but I will.
Get on that.
Yeah, I will.
But then I looked at, how did TikTok influence this artist, this song? So it's one of his clips from this song, Ordinary. It's used in a lot of like romantic point of view edits people are using on TikTok. And it's crazy. Like it's every clip on TikTok, you can usually find this within like 2 or 3 seconds. And it's just gone from, in 2 weeks, it went from number 12 to number 1.
Wow.
Because of TikTok.
Right.
And that's wild. And then like I just keep looking at this list. Also, Pink Pony Club. Right? TikTok.
Yeah.
It's used in all the trends showing off like club, nightlife, transition trends. That's number 4 in the top 20 right now globally. All of these songs, so you have Pink Pony Club, Love Me Not, Daisies by Bieber, Manchild, Sabrina Carpenter, Mystical Magician, Golden, Huntrix, greatest song ever written. Revolving Door,
Yeah.
Tate McGraw, Undressed. All of these artists are also very popular on TikTok. Their songs are used in all of their all their like transitions, trending topics.
Yeah.
They're all in the top 12
Right.
because of TikTok.
Yeah.
So it's no longer a game of, oh, let me just make a really great song, popular song. Let me get it on the radio. Let me get it on my streaming services.
Right.
No, you also now have to be on TikTok. You have to be on Instagram.
Yeah.
On the Reels, and it's short format
Right.
to really get you popular.
Right.
And I mean, I don't like, this is, again, I'm showing my age. I'm like the Instahams and the TikToks, right? Like, I don't know any of this.
All right.
But it's amazing the effect that this social media app has now over the music industry. And it was never really set up for that purpose. It's short form videos.
Yeah.
But now it's like, no. It's also music is highly influenced by this.
Yeah. And the fact that you bring this up, it changed how I think people have changed how they get their like new music into their libraries or their rotations is through like whether a TikTok or Instagram reel. And like, oh, I like that catchy song. They look it up and like, oh, I like this. And they listen to the full song instead of the 15, 20 seconds. And then they're adding it to their libraries on Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you listen to. And I love that it does two things I like. One, it gives artists an opportunity to connect to their fans in a way they normally would have. Now they're thinking this is like a soundtrack to my life or a soundtrack to this moment. And now, as you just mentioned, you're going to use it in romantic edits. You're going to use it in nightclubs. Sorry, Pink Pony Club is... That's my... Oh, man.
It's infectious.
It really is. Oh, my God. In a certain amount of time, I'm going to be that old guy. Whenever I hear that song, I'm not going to hesitate.
Didn't they played that song at Met Stadium, I think, all last year? Like whenever they won a game or something. I'm pretty sure it was like at the end of every game, they would just blast Pink Pony Club.
Was it? Did they play it?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I think they had her there once.
Really?
I remember going to a game and she just was there. I was like, what's happening? But I was like, this is great.
I've been to Citi Field like twice this year. Like,
I mean, shout out to the Mets, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Yankees really didn't do it this year. Anyway. So, no, but the other question, this goes now back into how they're making these pop songs because it's such a fast hit of the song you're getting, right? So thinking about how would you write these songs, it's like you need to think about, or do you, hook writing within 15 seconds. Like you have to have some part in that song where it's just immediate hook. And I'm thinking about Pink Pony Club because like literally that one part in the chorus, I could just listen to that one part for 15 seconds for the rest of my life. And I'd be fine. So it's like, so now that do you really have to cater to TikTok when you're writing these pop songs or the singles at least?
I was just about to say that. I would say considerably for the singles. I think if you have a single releasing, I think it'd be in your best interest to consider that when you're writing a song or production wise to keep TikTok in the back of your mind. I think producers now know that. They know to like, okay, if this is going to be the single, what part of it do I think is infectious enough to be on repeat? So they're going to think, okay, this is the 10, 15 second window. TikTok will eat this up. Perfect. Let's set this up for that way. And I think even still, if you write in that way, like let's say lyrics, You're making sure your chorus is very catchy. You want to make sure it's easy to sing. It doesn't require much, like, challenge to like sing in the shower as you get ready. Like it doesn't,
Right. As one does.
I mean, look, that's my little moment.
It's my safe space.
It's my safe space. I'm not a really good singer, but I like to do that. Anyway, so I think it's good that TikTok has, I guess now it wasn't designed for that, but now it's a part of the music industry. Mm-hmm. It's a part of how fans connect to the artists, how artists connect to, and vice versa. And then at the same time, it's much an easier avenue for marketing your songs. Like the fact that it's trending on TikTok, people are going to use it like, oh, I like that song. Maybe I want to make a TikTok. I'm going to use that. And it just keeps, it helps the artists and their career expand even further. Mm-hmm. Like I said, we said earlier about fan A, never heard of them. Now they hear it. Now they're part of that group.
Well, and that's a great point because even the artist Alex Warren, who's number one globally, his career got started because of TikTok. Yeah. Same with Benson Boone. Mm. Same thing. Mm-hmm. And he's in the top 4 or 5. Yeah. TikTok. Yeah. They were unknown artists. Yeah. And because of a clip on TikTok, they became these top 5 artists globally. Yeah. And that's ridiculous. That's absolutely wild.
It's crazy to think about, but at the same time, I'm just like, I'm happy for him. Because it can mean any person that has, whether they have like a sound or an ability, now they're able to expand. And they're no longer have to like, oh, I have to be signed artists. I have to be on a record label. I have to be, going through all these channels with marketing firms and all these things. No, if you have a real talent and you decided I'm going to record it and I'm going to upload it to the world, you'd be surprised how quickly one person is listening to it, then that person tell 5 people, it doubles. And now you're having whoever this Alex Warren is, I'm interested to hear their origin story.
We'll listen to it offline.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that. But I'm interested in their origin story and then just seeing from where they started to how they are now. Right. Like I love seeing that. And I think because I like seeing that, I think fans especially love seeing that. Mm. They're like, oh, this guy was authentic. Mm. This person was authentic from the beginning. Now, like, I want to attach myself to whatever they're doing next. So I think TikTok really helped connect fans to the artists, and now they're a part of the journey. Right. I love that.
So that kind of goes into this point of, because it's so rapid, right? Mm-hmm. You have these producers, artists making these quick 15-second hits of their top songs. But with the downside, I think, to that is the burnout. Mm. Because I think these artists, they're going to have to keep producing hit after hit, 15 seconds. And think about, because of TikTok, it's so instant. Like, people listening to it, they can just keep listening to it over and over. And, like, you're going to get tired of that song eventually, and probably quicker than if it were just playing on the radio or even just streaming. Mm. So do you think that this type of burnout is going to push artists kind of back towards going back to, like, full storytelling, not making content geared towards TikTok, and going back to, okay, we need to go back to, like, making these songs full on without a 15-second catchy part in there?
I hear you. I think the because of TikTok's constantly repeating the same song, fans eventually are going to be like, okay, I've heard this millions of times. What else does this person have in their discography? And if they don't have, I want to say catalog, but if they don't have at least a stable body of work, whether like at least an album or 2, so that way, okay, there's diversity in their artistry. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, there's much more to them than this hit that's taking over the airwaves. And I think that's important. So that's number one. I think you should, that single, that whether it's a single or not, if it blows up, that's great. Mm. But I think it's important to make sure you have other layers of music that shows ranges of who you are. And I think it is true that it does, I think, create a pressure for artists to see. That's the thing. It's a challenge because you don't want to get swept up in that. Consistently thinking about releasing music for the sake of marketing or the sake of going viral or TikTok.
Yep.
It's beautiful. It happens organically. Right. But I think if you get caught up in that little cycle, I feel like a part of this is, maybe I'm speaking too much personally, I'm worried about the artists losing what made them organic in the first place. That's my concern. That's where my concern goes to. Because I don't want them to lose that.
No, and I think that's a valid concern. Because again, I think it's that burnout.
Yeah.
It's happening so quick. They're not taking the necessary time. Mm-hmm. And they're making like these fake songs. Mm-hmm. Which again, I think goes back to our point just about pop songwriting. Like, I think that emotional rawness is important.
Right.
So if you're just making these songs quickly, it's not going to mean anything. It's not going to have any weight.
Right.
And I've heard that in pop songs where they're just catchy hooks the entire song. And like, yeah, you can listen to it a couple times. It's fun. But then it's like, all right, I'm done. Because there's nothing to connect with. So it's like, I'm done with this.
Right.
So, yeah, I think that is a very big possibility.
Yeah.
That it can be effective TikTok.
Right.
So, well, I think, this was a jam-packed episode.
Oh, man.
And it was so jam-packed. I think we're going to have a part 2.
I think we have to.
So we're going to have a part 2 of this episode, diving into more of the tech side of the future of pop and kind of the new definition of what a pop star is even. So stick with us. Stick around for part 2, and we'll see you then.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to today's podcast. If you have an idea for an intro or an outro that we could play on our show, please send to musicmusingspodcast@gmail.com.
If you have any questions, comments, or ideas, please email us at musicmusingspodcast@gmail.com.